Hi guys, welcome to Code Bashers. Guys, in this video, I will be discussing the Gen Z Elevate interview experience of Cognizant. Guys, this interview happened recently only on 11th September 2021. And guys, this is the sixth Gen Z Elevate interview experience that I am covering on my channel. First 5 interview experiences have already been uploaded on my channel, and you can find all those Gen Z Elevate interview experiences under this playlist. I will give the link of this playlist in the I button or in the description box. Make sure that after watching this video, you watch these 5 videos also, because these videos will really be helpful for you in preparing for your interviews. Guys, this is a separate playlist for Gen Z Elevate interview experience. If you are preparing for Gen Z interview experience, then I have a separate playlist on my channel, that is this playlist. And in this playlist also, around 5 to 6 videos of Gen Z interview experience have been posted. And similarly, I have a separate playlist of Gen Z next interview experience also. So here also 7 videos of Gen Z next interview experience have been posted. All these playlist link I will give in the description box. So based on your role and your interview experience, you can visit these playlists and watch these videos. So now let's start this video. And guys, before starting video, please hit the like button as well as subscribe button for this channel. Guys, views are very good on videos, but subscriptions are very less, so make sure to subscribe my channel. Okay, so the date of the interview was 11th September 2021. The branch of my friend is CSC. The duration of the interview was 50 minutes. Okay, so the first question, as you all know, will be to introduce yourself. And guys, make sure to include only those skills in which you are comfortable in, and you can answer it. You can add your internships, your project, your extracurricular activities, your hobbies in introduce yourself, and your answer can be from 2 to 3 minutes long. Okay, next question was, tell about call by value and call by reference in C. So it is a very basic question that can be asked in C language. So we all know that call by value. While calling a function, we pass values of variables to it. Such functions are known as call by values. Now see, whenever we are calling a function, we generally add parameters to it. And if we add value parameters, then it is known as call by value. And call by reference is that while calling a function, instead of passing the values of variables, we pass the address of variables to the function, that is known as call by reference. So while calling a function, if we pass the value of the variables, then it is called as call by value. And while calling the function, we pass the address of the variables, then it is known as call by reference. Now the major difference is that, let's suppose we have called a function and we have passed a variable value as a. Now in call by value, if we change a variable's value in that function, then the change of the value will not be reflected in the main function in call by value. But in call by reference, if we are passing a variable's address, and in a particular function we are changing the value of that variable, then the change will reflect in the entire program wherever that variable is used. So this is the major difference. In call by value, the value is changed only in that particular function, whereas in call by reference, if we change the value, that changed value reflect the entire program. So I hope this major difference is clear to you. Okay, next is, what is null pointer? Now a null pointer is a pointer which points to nothing. The name suggests itself. A null pointer is a pointer which points nothing, and it is used to initialize a pointer variable when that pointer variable isn't assigned any valid memory address at the beginning. Okay, so if we know that a particular pointer will be pointing to a memory location in future, so we can simply declare it now at present only by assigning it the null value. So I hope this is clear to you. Now next was to write code implementation for the null pointer in C. So again, it's very easy. So here is the definition of null pointer, how to declare null pointer. So int star p is equivalent to null, that is, this is a p pointer and it is pointing to the null value. Okay, next is, what is the difference between compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism? Now again, this question can be asked from you also in the interview, because see, now compile time polymorphism, runtime polymorphism, as the name suggests, compile time polymorphism occurs when the program is getting compiled, whereas the runtime polymorphism occurs when we are at the runtime environment. When the program is compiled, now our program is executing in the runtime environment. Okay, now there are other names also compile time polymorphism. It is static binding, early binding. It is known as, because see, in the interview you can be asked what is early binding, what is late binding. So early binding is compile time polymorphism. Why it is known as early binding? Because it is first the program is compiled, and in compiled only compile time polymorphism occurs. And runtime polymorphism is known as the late binding, because it is happening at the later stage of the execution of the program at runtime. So therefore it is known as late binding. Okay, now the major difference is that how we can achieve compile time polymorphism and how we can achieve runtime polymorphism. Compile time polymorphism can be achieved by two methods, that is function overloading and operator overloading, whereas runtime polymorphism can be achieved using the virtual functions and pointer. So I hope the difference is clear to you. So again, these are the two different types of polymorphism, and polymorphism is one type of one pillar of OOPS. Now if you want to know in detail about the four pillars of OOPS and their classifications, I have made a separate video on my channel. I will give the link of that video in the I button and in the description box. Make sure to watch four pillars of OOPS. In that I have discussed every pillar in detail and how to explain the pillars to the interviewer. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. Now next is, what is a friend class? So there is a simple definition of a friend class in C++. A friend class in C++ can access the private and protected members of the class in which it is declared as a friend. Now you will say, why we need a friend class? Why we can't just simply do inheritance? But in inheritance, the parent class, the child class are not able to access the private members of the parent class. Again I am repeating, in inheritance, the child class, the functions of child class are not able to access the private functions, or you can say the data of the parent class. Therefore there is a concept of friend class, that is a friend class can access the private and protected members of the class in which it is declared as friend. So there is one class A and one class B, and if class A is a friend of class B, then class A can access the private members of class B. And now again, one thing very important, this friendship is not mutual. That is, if class A is friend of class B, then A can access the private data members of B, but B cannot access the data members of A since B is not a friend of A. So it is not mutual. So I hope this concept is clear to you. Next is, what is the difference between structure and a class? So again, it's a very simple difference, but I will give the link in the description box so that you can read it from there. Okay, next was aptitude problem was asked on ratio and proportion. So again, this is the sixth interview experience, and out of these six interview experiences, in 5 videos I have told you that the aptitude problem has been asked, and in one video I have told you that the puzzle questions from Geeks for Geeks have been asked. So if you should prepare both, you should prepare aptitude also, and puzzle questions can also be asked, and all the puzzle questions that are commonly asked are present on Geeks for Geeks platform. So make sure to visit that platform. Okay, next was a true or false question. Now, members of a class are public by default if not specified public, private, protected. So the answer is wrong. In C++ or in any language except Java, in Java there is a default access specifier, but in general, whenever we does not specify any member or data member as public, private or protected, then it is by default private. In C++ it is private. So these are all the questions respect to C++. So in C++, the data member or the member function that has not been specified an access specifier, it is by default private. Okay, so for this you can say it is false. This is false. Okay, now next was a situation based question that was given to this interviewer. Okay, so the situation question was, situation like you have to submit college assignment tomorrow, and today at evening relatives came to your house, and one more is that you also have a cricket tournament to go to watch, and that definitely you have to attend. So how you will prioritize your work? So tomorrow you have to give your homework, today relatives came, and tomorrow you have to go to watch cricket tournament that you cannot miss. So how will you prioritize your work? Like 3 things are there. You will sit with relatives and talk with them, you have to go to cricket tournament also, as well as you will have to do your homework also. So how you will prioritize your things? So again, this is a situation based question, and there is no correct or wrong answer in it. It all depends on how you are thinking at that particular time. So make sure to take your time and explain the scenario to the interviewer well. Okay, now next question was asked about hobbies apart from academics. So yes, he can ask you that what are your hobbies except academics. So because many of you say that our hobby is writing code, so they generally ask apart from academics. So you can say anything, you like music, you like dancing, anything you want. Okay, next is how are you updating yourself with new technologies in IT field? Again, this question is very important, and this is generally asked from less candidate, but it is an important question because see, we have been in a pandemic from for now around 2 years now. So we are all at home and we have sufficient time for learning new technologies. So how we have utilized our time in learning those technologies and how we will be beneficial for the company. So this question is generally to ask from you that how you will be beneficial for our company in these new age technologies. So you can say that how you are updating, what all things you have learned. There is it is not necessary that you have learned a new field in IT only. Like in this question, it is asked what is you have learned in IT, but in general, you can say anything that you have done to upgrade yourself or to update yourself. So you can answer it for yourself. Next is, do you know cloud computing? So my friend said no, that he does not know cloud computing. Next is, write a code to print prime numbers in the given range 1 to 50. As this particular question has been repeated in Gen Z Elevate interview, Gen Z Next interview, as well as in Gen Z interview. Also, the video that I have posted yesterday, sorry. So, in that particular video also, this question is getting repeated. So make sure to learn this question by heart, learn its pseudocode, learn its approach, learn how to write the code. So make sure to learn it by heart. Next is, tell me about your internship. So again, whenever you are asked about the internship, tell the company in which you did internship, what was your project, what was your role, what was your technology. All these things you will have to mention to the interviewer while you are describing your internships, and in the end, what did you learn out of them. Okay, next last question of this interview was, any questions. So guys, whenever an interview asks you to ask any questions from him, then please ask 2 to 3 questions from him. Just do not say that no, you do not have any questions. You can simply ask that what all technologies you will be working in a company, what does company expects from you, and how does entire work culture is about in the company. So all these things you can ask from the interviewer, and he will be happy to answer these queries. So guys, these were all the questions which were asked from this candidate. I hope this video will help you in preparing for your interview, and it will be a good reference for you. So guys, thank you for watching this video, and guys, make sure to subscribe this channel, because I am noticing that in videos views are very good, but the subscriptions are not that much. So make sure to hit that subscribe button on my channel. Thank you for watching it.